All right, everyone, welcome back. My name is Doc Mark. I am a German-grown, US-based professor of food production. I am a former athlete, and I'm also a aspiring YouTuber. You could say that. I started this channel because I wanted to counter misinformation in the realm from food production, nutrition, and dieting. And this has evolved because I've seen a lot of things that are communicated. Have you communicated today already? All right, I guess we're going to start this again. I do want to share 5 of those things that I've seen a lot that I think are not rooted in science. A little disclaimer, this might not necessarily be what you want to hear, but we're all friends here. This is just my opinion that I give here. Let's get started. So myth number 1 has to do with apple cider vinegar. It's a pretty old myth that apple cider vinegar, 1 tablespoon, will help you with weight loss, will help you with blood sugar levels. And there has been quite some research on apple cider vinegar and the health impact it might have. And this research is rather inconclusive. So now, from my point of view, I think you can drink apple cider vinegar if you want to, an entire bottle.
I would not recommend to drink an entire bottle.
But 1 teaspoon definitely, or tablespoon definitely doesn't do any harm. But your expectation level should be that it also doesn't improve your health. The second one is for you. Carbohydrates are bad. So that is not true. That sugars are the main source of energy for your body. A healthy diet should be somewhere between 40 and 60% of your caloric daily intake. So if you have 2,000 calories, 40 to 60% of that should come from carbohydrates. There are carbohydrates that we consume way too many of. Those are the mono and disaccharides, like glucose, fructose. Those are all monosaccharides. When sucrose, lactose, and maltose, those are all disaccharides. They can be digested pretty fast, which means they lead to like very high glucose levels. And the problem is not that you shouldn't eat them. The problem is that a lot of the foods that we are eating are artificially sweetened with those mono and disaccharides. And that is the big issue. And I'm talking candy bars, pastries, a lot of white bread has a lot of sugar in it. And condiments often have a lot of sugar in it. Salad dressing has a lot of sugar in it. Those are the things that not just add calories to your diet, but also especially those mono and disaccharides, which can be digested really fast. If you opt to digest longer sugar, so more complex sugars that you find in root vegetables or in legumes, or you find them also in fruit, for example, or in like whole grains. So those kind of more complex carbohydrates, they're longer chained. So it takes longer for them to be digested, which means the glucose is released slower into your bloodstream. Instead of opting to eat no or like very little carbohydrates, which a lot of people do, you should opt to eat less of the mono and disaccharide rich foods and eat more of the complex carbohydrate rich foods. Carbohydrates are really important for your brain health, cell structure, hormone levels, all of it. Carbohydrates are kind of an important nutrient, really. What else is there to say? All right, myth number 3, and you're gonna not like it, is the ketogenic diet. The ketogenic diet has its place. It has been shown in research without a doubt that it can help with some chronic diseases like type 2 diabetes, for example. It can help to increase insulin sensitivity. It can also help to lose weight. But there's also a larger body of knowledge that shows that it has some increased health risk. For example, increased cholesterol levels that can lead to cardiovascular problems. There's also research that has shown that if you are not type 2 diabetic and you rely a lot on animal fats and animal proteins, that can lead to a higher risk for you to actually become diabetic in the long term. It's also, everybody is a little different. And for some people, the ketogenic diet works better than for others. It is also a very restrictive diet, so keeping up with it and adhering to it for like the rest of your life is definitely very challenging, I would say. And again, as I said, potentially also not healthy. So learning about other ways how to lose weight and how to keep weight off for good and staying in a caloric deficit if you want to lose weight, or staying in caloric maintenance, is a lot more important. All right, fats make you fat. Myth number 4. What makes you fat is staying in a caloric surplus. Okay, so that's the key thing. No matter which diet you are in, ketogenic diet, intermittent fasting, whatever the diet is you choose,
if you're not in a caloric deficit, you're not going to lose weight.
So fats are really important. Again, cell structures, your hormone balance relies on fat. Around 20% of your caloric intake should be coming from fats. So the key issue here, again, is that a lot of the foods that we eat in the Western kitchen especially contain a lot of saturated and trans fats. And those are fats that can lead to higher cholesterol levels, that can lead to cardiovascular problems. Unsaturated fats that you find a lot in vegetables, in nuts, you find that in fish and seafood. You find unsaturated fats also in a lot of oils, like olive oil or peanut oil are very good sources of unsaturated fats. And if you incorporate those into your diet and you leave out a little bit more the saturated fats, so the heavy meats, like especially the red meats, that is a very healthy approach. Okay, number 5, my favorite, is skipping breakfast. All right, so a lot of people say skipping breakfast is healthy. That is not true. In fact, the opposite is true. If you skip breakfast long term, you're at higher risk of cardiovascular diseases, hypertension, and obesity even. It's like taking off with an airplane, but forgetting to put fuel into the plane, eventually you will crash. So very, very healthy for breakfast would be to have like 25 to 35% of your caloric intake should come from a breakfast. Again, adhere to those like ranges, like 40 to 60% carbohydrates, 20% or so fats, and then about, 40% protein. So really protein-rich, complex carbohydrate-rich, fiber-rich breakfast, and it will make you feel saturated longer. And that is the way to go on a diet. Careful advertisement. All right, so if you want to learn how to replace your food with like healthier options that are also low calorie dense but nutrient rich, and how to change your behavior gradually so that you can lose weight and keep it off for the rest of your life without going on very restrictive diets, then you need our book. And this is our book here. I imagine about 2 or 3 weeks before we can put it up for pre-order. If you like this content, subscribe to my channel, hit the bell button. It really goes a long way. And I see you next time. I'm out.